Is Rondo out?
He pulled his hamstring or strained his hamstring late third quarter of the Philly game. Came out, stretched on the sideline, felt good enough, played the rest of the game, did not feel good yesterday or this morning. So, you know, obviously with a hamstring, that is something that you don't mess with at any time. And certainly, you know, I think he wanted, from what I heard, he wanted to play, and this morning he just didn't feel good.
So Humphries, Bayless, and Sellinger are also
Humphries,
out.
Bayless, and Sellinger are also out. Yeah, and that's not changed obviously since Saturday.
Brad, how would you assess your performance and your growth this year as a coach?
I thought I did incomplete. You know, I think as a coach, you're gonna continue to grow throughout the summer and every summer, and whether you had a good year, bad year or not, you hopefully learn a lot, get better at it. You know, I said this last week. I've got a laundry list of things that I have to do better, and you know, I'll be my harshest critic, and I'll try to do those things better.
What did you learn about yourself this year?
You know, the one thing that I probably learned about myself is that you know, it's been very difficult to not be very good, right? I mean, it's hard not being a team that's contending for a playoff spot or contending for bigger things than that. But the thing that I'm proud of is that the team, the coaches, the staff, I thought really put in the work for every single game, every single day. I told them this morning, I said, you know, as we went through the walkthrough and we prepared like we did for the first game of the season, you know, those guys have done a pretty good job of that all year. And so the thing that I probably feel most comfortable with is that, you know, regardless of circumstance, we came to work and we tried to get better and ultimately do our best. And, you know, unfortunately it hasn't been good enough on a lot of nights.
Back-to-back career highs for Kyle in the last few games. Can you just talk about the strides he's made in the second half of the season?
Well, you know, first of all, you have a better chance of getting your career high if you never come off the court. So that happened in Cleveland, and you know, then he had a lot of good moments again in Philly. He's a guy that has a chance to be a really good player. I think that there's, like any young guy, you know, he's not as consistent as he wants to be yet, but defensively he finds himself in the right spot more often than not. Now it's about doing something when you're in that spot and stopping the opponent more often than not. Offensively, he's a guy you can play through, and so a lot of times what we've found is that you know, we really run smoother offensively, or at least very smooth with him in the game. And with, you know, the way that the ball has been popping around the last few games at least, you know, playing through him at the forward has been a good thing for us.
You guys have had your struggles this year, but how much has it helped to have a full gym night in and night out and this fan support here?
This can't be the case anywhere else. I mean, it's, you know, I've said this all year. Fans are amazing. I mean, I told our team today, Phil Pressey dove on that ball the other night. I mean, it was like, you know, I don't know what late May's like because I've never been here, but I was here for maybe an early June Eastern Conference final game, but it felt like that kind of atmosphere and that kind of reaction to just playing the game the right way. And, I've got a great appreciation for the fans in this town and for the people in this town, because our atmospheres have been second to none. And, you know, to be quite candid, our team has a long way to go. So, you know, I think the fans have been, you know, a terrific part of the year for me.
Do you expect to have to undergo another rebuilding year next year, or do you think Danny will make enough changes so you won't have to?
Well, I think, you know, first of all, Bill, I think that the guys that'll be back, and we don't know exactly who that'll be, right? But the guys that'll be back will be better. I'll be better. You know, I think that does that guarantee that you're going to be, you know, really good or significantly better? No, because you still have to, night in, night out, beat the opponent who is also improving and also getting better. So at the end of the day, I think a lot of it will be determined on how much we all improve in the course of the offseason and what pieces we add that complement the people that are already here. You know, whether they're go-to guys or whether they're complementary guys that just fit well. You know, there's a chance that we could be you know, there's a chance that we could really be looking at both of those, and I think that at the end of the day, we'll see how that shakes itself out. But the guys that are here will be better if they're back, and I really feel strongly about that. And one of the reasons I feel strongly about that is because the locker room's never really severed. It's never really gotten away from anybody. And, the guys have been pretty good about being accountable to one another and you know, playing together for the most part. And, you know, we've had it, said it the other day, we've had our clunkers, don't get me wrong. I mean, we've had some bad days, but you know, I think we've had some days we can go on too.
This team was pretty much all set by the time you were hired last year. How much are you looking forward to, and how much input do you think you'll have in kind of meeting with Danny and starting to talk about the draft, and when do you think that process is going to start?
Well, probably not going to start next week, or at least for a few days. I think you know, I'm looking forward to taking a deep breath and reevaluating this year first, and reevaluating, you know, and sitting down with all of our players and talking about what's, you know, the best way that they can improve moving forward. We've started to do that in a number of cases throughout the year, but certainly in the last week or last day. And I think that you know, I'll be involved as much as they want me to be involved, because I'll be around. I'm not going anywhere. You know, this is you know, I am looking forward to learning about how that process works and all those things. But I haven't spent two minutes thinking about it throughout this season, and you know, after tonight maybe I will a little bit more.
Brad, people can prepare you and say the NBA culture is different than the college culture, but when you live it, how fun was it, and how much will it help you next year that it won't be so?
You know, I was told, Jackie, that yeah, you have a chance to be a good coach, but you're going to be a lot better in year two. And that was not by somebody with the Celtics. That was by, you know, another person after I got hired within the NBA. And it's not as much the culture. I think the culture is who you are in the locker room, and so that the culture is team to team, person to person, and all of those things. And I think we've got good people in that locker room. The biggest thing is how quickly you have to get everything in, and how flexible you have to be day to day, because you don't get a lot of practice time. And you know, we've just been flip-flopping back and forth with who's available, who's not, for the better part of the last couple of months, and that's been different. That's been different, and that's a challenge. But you know, hopefully we can have a season where we have a little bit more continuity. But I think I'll be better next year just from having been through it. And I do think there are a lot of differences, mostly small, and accentuated by the fact that you're doing it for 82 games.
Looking ahead to the summer, Brad, do you anticipate coaching the summer league?
I won't coach the summer league team. I'll be there. I'll probably be active in practice, but I won't coach on the sidelines in Orlando. One of my assistants will. We'll figure that out when the time comes, and go from there.
How much attention will you pay to the NBA playoffs this year?
A lot. I'm just like you, and I don't know what you all like to watch on TV. I just said today I haven't watched a sitcom, a reality show, or one of those singing shows all year. So I watch the Red Sox, which I'm kind of excited about. That I asked my wife last night, are we gonna wait until each of these games are over for 162 games? So that's been fun. But I'm a sports fan. I'm gonna watch the playoffs because that's what I've always done, and that's what I like to do. I watch it with more of a evaluation eye than I have in the past.
You taped all those singing shows. You can watch them now, right?
Yeah. If I did, I don't know where they are. I do owe my 4-year-old daughter 2 hours to watch Frozen with her for the 18,000th time.
So when you're watching the playoff games, do you kind of put down the notepad at all ever and just take it?
Yeah, I'll put down the notepad. And we have, obviously, we'll have those games all taped. We'll have access to all those games. We'll be able to pull those back up, break those down. You know, there will be things that I'll be very interested to see. I'll probably be watching it more from the adjustments game to game than I have in the past. You know, as far as actions go, as far as how people defend in their base system, you learn those things through 82 games. But just seeing and having an eye on what people are doing game to game, specific to who they have and who they are, will be interesting to watch, especially after being through this.
Coach, how have you kept the guys inspired to play this late this season?
Well, I don't know that I have. You know what I do think is this town and this community has. You know, and we talked about the fans earlier, and you know, I've talked about how important it is to play through each buzzer and play through the whole season with the spirit that this town deserves and that this town really is embodied, and that's been important to us. And again, we have had nights where we didn't do that, but those have been hopefully fewer and far between. You know, that's important to me. That's really important to me, to play the game the right way and to bring nothing back to the locker room with you.